already from playing against them, which was a plus. So you actually know those players already. And so that made it easier for me to really get a grip at Bayern Munich. And like I said, I was welcomed by everyone. We have lots of really good players in the team, and be with them on the training pitch and during the games is something special, where you can learn a lot, whether it's the players up front, Harry, Leroy, Jamal, or Thomas, was really experienced, and everybody welcomed me, and they are really eager and competitive. And the biggest difference is that at Bayern Munich, you're always competing for the highest accolades, and we are all coming to the practice session and to the games in order to win. And that is the only thing that counts. And you realize that in every practice session, wherever we meet. And this spirit is really embodied here, and I really feel at home here, and really fit in there, and it really is fun.
Og det bliver et spørgsmål på dansk. David, Copenhagen Sundays. Konrad, du nævner, at det er en vigtig kamp for jer. I er sikre på førstepladsen i puljen. Kan du nævne, hvorfor det er en vigtig kamp?
Sie haben erwähnt, dass es ein wichtiges Spiel.
You were alluding to this game being important. Why is it an important game for you? Well, it's a Champions League game, period. And that's why it's important. When you hear that anthem, when you have a home game, when you're wearing that Bayern Munich jersey, then you want to go out and give everything you can and win at the end.
Konrad, Bayern München og Allianz Arena er jo et nyt fænomen i forhold til København, hvor hverken spillerne eller fans har prøvet det før. Kan du prøve at gøre folk lidt klogere på, hvad der venter danskerne i morgen på det her stadion?
Bayern Münchens Stadion morgen
Bayern
Abend
Munich's
ist
stadium
was Neues für die dänischen
tomorrow
Fans und für die neuen
will be
Spieler. Die
something
kennen
new
nur die
for the
Arena in
Danish fans and
Kopenhagen.
for the
Können Sie mal
new
ein paar Wörter mal drauf setzen, was
players. They
so
only
warten
know
ist
their
morgen in der
arena at
Allianz Arena?
Copenhagen. What can they expect tomorrow at the Allianz Arena?
Ganz einfach, ich glaube, jeder kann sich drauf freuen, hier spielen.
Everybody can be excited to play here, and it is really an experience for me as well to get out on the pitch and with all the fans and all the surroundings. And I believe that from our side we are trying to make this evening as pleasant as possible, and not for our guests, obviously. In the past weeks, a lot has been talked about the development of the team. How do you see it? Is it currently running well, or is there still room for improvement? How would you judge it? Like I said before, I think we're on a good way. There's always room for improvement for everyone, and that is absolutely clear in football, and we want to get better and better and better, and that is the most important thing. If we have all this in us to want to improve, then we are steering into the right direction. And obviously there are things that we can do better and we can play better football, but on the other hand, we are doing things right already. You can see that in our results and in the games that we've won, but we are on a right track, and we have room for improvement, and that is a good thing. If you see our results and the way we play, that we still can improve, and if that happens to be the case, then there is basically no limit for us, and it's still a long season, and I'm really looking forward to all those games and weeks, and we as a team do as well. 2 more questions. A player that a lot has been talked about is Thomas Müller, because he plays only so few minutes like never before. How do you see him during practice? Is he a bit more by himself, or is he always loose and funny like he always is? To me, I only started playing with him at the summer, and I really cherish every second that I play with him outside of the pitch. He really is a human being that we all know with so many things that he brings to the table that he can give to young players and to the team as such. And me personally, I'm really happy to share the locker room with him and that I have a player like him that I can practice with and play with. And we all know his qualities, and we all football players, we want to play all the time, and that is absolutely normal. And this might happen that we are not that happy when we don't play. That's no difference with him than it is with me or anybody else. And that's what makes a team so great like ours, that we all want to play and we all want to win, and that makes us better every day. And he is one of the best, and we've seen that in the past years. I've seen it as an opposing player. Now I see it as a fellow player to him, and that really makes great fun. That he still has the highest level. You can see that on the training pitch and during games, and so I'm completely relaxed and I'm happy to have him on my team.
Hvordan har I set på udviklingen i den her gruppe, Champions League-gruppe, hvor FC København efter 4 runder ligger nummer 2, og hvilket indtryk gjorde det på jer, at se det danske hold slå Manchester United også?
Wie sehen Sie die Gruppe insgesamt und was für ein
How
Eindruck
do you see the group as
hat
such,
es
and
bei Ihnen
what
erweckt, Herr Laimer,
impression
dass die Dänen Manchester United geschlagen hat?
did the victory of Copenhagen against Manchester United have on you?
War das auf jeden Fall keine leichte Champions League Gruppe.
Well, it's not an easy group. That could be seen. Every team was really good, and you could see it in the games that we had and the games that they had, like Copenhagen, who really played well against Manchester United. They played well at Istanbul. We really struggled at Copenhagen. It isn't easy to play at Istanbul, like we've seen, so it was a difficult group from the start. So that we have 12 points already after 4 games is really a very good result. And you can see that the 3 other teams are playing real good football as well. They have a lot to play for still, and I would bet on all 3 to make it. It's going to be a really tight race, and we want to play the last 2 games like we did the first 4 and win those 2. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye, bye, bye. We'll be back with the coach.
Yes. Hello, Thomas Tuchel. Welcome. Teil 2 der Pressekonferenz jetzt mit unserem Chefcoach.
Welcome to part 2 of the press conference with our head coach. Now, start with the questions. Hello, Mr. Tuchel. We're just talking to Konrad Laimer, and I was telling he is an omnipotent player who can play in different positions. Is that why you value him like you do? What is his meaning for you and your team, particularly during those injury-plagued times? Well, you could see it with his minutes that he has and his approach that he has. He's always positive. He always wants to play. He always wants to practice. He wants to be on the pitch, and he's really stepping back as far as his position is concerned, because he plays on the position that we want to play him in, and he does it for 100%, so you can never be mad about him, even when things might not go to plan. It's not because he's not taking it serious or because he doesn't like it. It's just because it's not his best day, but he will always give everything for the team and give always everything to fill the role that he has. And that was the plan when we were acquiring him. He was assisting a couple of goals already. He played really well as a fullback. And he's really feeling at home more in a daily practice and everything. He's more secure, and it's good to have him. Looking ahead to tomorrow, will there be lots of rotation? Is there a candidate that you are sure about that he will get a look into the game or get a break on the other hand? Well, yes and no. It's still a Champions League game, and we are on a roll, and we are having results, and we don't want to interrupt this phase because the management of workload is not too difficult. We now have a longer break from Friday to Wednesday. I can understand where you're coming from. We're discussing it. We are certain of being the top in the group, but we don't want to send out the signal that it's not that important to us. So if we make changes, then it is in order to keep that bite, to keep that hunger high, and to give players an opportunity that were patient and that were really pushing for their places. That can be, but we haven't decided how many players will get their chance. For national team players, there has not been too much to cheer about. So the under-17s and them reaching the final was really nice. Is there a player that impressed you the most? And well, when you are in the quarterfinals and win, and the semifinals and win, and now in the final, then I want them to win, obviously. I'm not completely involved in it on detail in order to really give you a good answer. We know about the results, and I've seen it on television a little bit, but I was still busy preparing my team for the next games. But I'm absolutely keeping my fingers crossed. There are players from our campus there as well. And that is really good, and I hope that they will be able to make the final step as well. Rooney Badai was coming to the fore at Copenhagen. He was brought onto the pitch from the bench in the first game. He scored against Manchester United. What problems can he bring to the table, and would he be someone for Bayern Munich as well? Well, we'll see how many problems we'll get. We'll see whether he plays, but it's not about one player only. Copenhagen really were performing very well during the whole group stage so far. It's very difficult to win at their place, and they really played impressively after that, which wasn't a surprise to us. And that's why this group is really tight, even though we have a slight gap between us and the other teams. But it still didn't feel that way. Every game was hard fought and was close. And we expect that tomorrow as well. And we'll wait for the starting 11. But this player you mentioned has qualities and is really playing well and he can hurt everyone, but we want to defend him collectively. In the past days, a lot of discussion has been about the development of your team, and I've seen a stat with an expected goals stat. How do you see the development of your team? I think the victory against Dortmund was one of the key moments, particularly with the way we won this game and the way we played for the whole 90 minutes. And I think this really gave us security and trust in ourselves. Then the return of Manu was a key as well for us to get more security and more calmness. And I really think that we understand our own rhythm better now and that we understand how to get our speed on the pitch as well. And I think that the players that played on the same positions quite a lot of games, that now have the automatisms and have those understanding with each other and know how to play with each other, that this really helps our game, and I hope it stays that way. We still have things to improve, but I think our approach against the ball is compact and diligent, and it's really difficult to get chances against us and score goals, and we have to continue this. And if you can find stats that underline all this, we know our stats, we know the XG stats. Sometimes an XG can actually delude you a bit because we were really close and we were really in good spaces, but we haven't managed to get the final pass to really make it a good chance. So you have really to see deeper in those stats and not only see the stats that are good for you, but now currently we're really on a high level and we're constantly on that high level and really stable. Heiko Niederer. You were talking about Thomas Müller quite a lot during this press conference in the past, but still the minutes that he has are really few. So a couple of experts now say if he wants to play more and be more often in the starting 11, he has to change teams. So if he would come to you now and say, well, I want to play more, and what should I do? What would you tell him? Well, he knows that he has the chance, and he knows that I really rate him highly, and he has my respect. And when you say that we were praising him, then it is because he deserved it. Thomas is a playing legend at Bayern Munich. I can understand everything around him, and we know what happens when he doesn't play that often, but the players that play more really play very well at this time. And if we put Choupo ahead of him now, even though the majority of the outstanders would, or the bystanders would choose Thomas, then Choupo is a different type of player, and we wanted to give him a chance as well, and then we have to respect Choupo as well, because he is working hard to win games for us as well, and it doesn't really hit the nail on its head when we just look at the minutes that Thomas Müller plays, because Serge was on the bench as well, Rafa Guerreiro was on the bench as well. I can understand it, and I probably cannot change it, but Thomas stays a legend, and he should play tomorrow and should play from the start tomorrow. But the situation to really have the scrutiny on him and scrutinize him doesn't really lead to anything, because this only means there's a question: do we have to let him play, or are we just letting him play because there's so much talk about this situation, and we have to try to stay away from that talk. He's obviously not happy. Nobody's happy at Bayern Munich when he's sitting on the bench, but Thomas will be a special player, and I'm not going to change my opinion. Jamal Musiala is in practice for quite a while. Will he be an option? No chance. He will be part of the practice today for 15-20 minutes, and then he will continue individually. So the day after tomorrow, he will be part of the team practice again, hopefully, and we'll see whether he will be something for the Union game. And Matthijs de Ligt, will he be an option for this year? No, to my feeling, not.
På Bayern Münchens Youth League-hold løber der en ung dansker rundt med navnet Jonathan Asp, som også har været oppe og træne med jer på førsteholdet. Kunne du prøve lige at sætte lidt ord på,
Jonathan Asp spielt in der
Jonathan
Jugendabteilung
Asp
bei Ihnen.
plays in your campus at Bayern Munich. Can you tell us something about his player and what do you expect from him? Well, let's start at the end. We expect from every youth player the same: work hard, be calm and be humble. And Jonathan was part of our team practice a couple of times. He's a really slim type of player. He has to put on some muscle, but he's a very clever player. He's confident still. He knows where to put the ball. He understands the game, and given his age, he really did an impressive job. That was last season. Now he's back at the academy, and he's taken his next steps. And, well, every door is open, but the guys had to go through them on their own.
Hallo, Herr Tuchel. Haben wir eben über die Entwicklung der Mannschaft gesprochen?
We were talking about the development of the team. How do you see your own development during those 8 months? Are there things that you would that you were changing, understanding during those 8 months? Yes, obviously, and that's not going to stop. That's my understanding from being a coach, and I'm understanding it better and better every day, and I'm getting a better coach every day, hopefully, because to use experience is very important in that job. I understand my team better, I understand myself better, I understand the club better with every day that comes along, and I hope it continues.
Ja, hej Thomas. Et spørgsmål mere på dansk. Vi kender jo til jeres stimer, jeres rekordstimer her.
Wir kennen die ganze Rekorde von Bayern
We
München.
know all the records of Bayern Munich, the victories that they had.
Wie groß ist diese
The games that
Bedeutung für Bayern
were
München, dass
undefeated,
ihr so
how
lange
important
unbesiegt seid?
is all this to stay undefeated for as long as you do? Well, it is an impressive stat, and I was almost shocked when I realized how it is. And once we won, and everybody was calculating victory after victory, and it shows the strength of this club. It shows how serious the mentality of the club is to win games like this. For a coach, it's very good because it proves that we are not judging games differently in games that are important and games that are less important, but you can really rely on the team in group games as well. And so tomorrow, even though we don't have the pressure because we are already in the first position and we are in the round of 16 already, we still have to show the patience, which is not always easy in November after the third national team break, in the middle of a fight for the Bundesliga crown, and the weather is not going to be too nice as well, but the series shows that, or the streak shows that we can do it, and that we are obliged to do it, and me included. There's no alternative. We are preparing for the game tomorrow like it was our last chance to reach our goals, and we're not going to make any difference regarding our positioning in the table, and hopefully you'll see that on pitch tomorrow. You were just talking about Serge Gnabry. How do you see his development after his injury? I get the feeling he really has it difficult to get back to his form. Same with the national team against Austria. What are the things that he has to work on in order to be a candidate for the starting 11 already? Serge was always very reliable at the end of last season, and with his goals and with his decisive situations, he was carrying us through the part of the season. He was very strong in pre-season as well. And then very early in the season, he got injured, and I believe that he earns a lot of credit, or he has earned a lot of credit in the team and with our coaches as well. We understand that after his broken bone, he lost a bit of an easiness playing with the cast. Now the cast is smaller and gotten smaller and smaller, so his movement gets a lot more free. And in the meantime, though, players have played very well in his positions, so he has to continue to work on it. Like I said, he really earned credit, and we know he is important. He's a sensationally good type of guy, and now he really has to fight his way through, whether it will be from the start or coming off the bench, just get his head down and fight for his place and show what makes him strong to run against the ball, run with the ball, run deep and continue to do it, be diligent against the ball and really fight for the team. And so he will reach the level that he expects from himself and that we are used to seeing him. So thank you very much, Coach. See you soon at the practice pitch.